Good afternoon, everybody. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, and we've got story time with the chickens. And they saw me come out of the house, and they seem to think that I have more food for them. Every time I walk out, they think I have food. I'm the food lady, whether it's cat food, bird seed, people food, right? You think I have something for you? I don't. I'm sorry, but how's everybody doing today? It is hot. It's hot and humid. They're saying that it feels like the heat index feels like 105. And this morning it said something like it felt like 97, even though it was 88. I don't know. I don't know what it is anymore. It's just hot. I'm taking a break from DRing. I was using my DR trimmer, and yes, Paul, there, I do have a DR trimmer. I don't have the big one. I don't have the big brush mower. I have a smaller one, it's the girl size. But I like it just fine. But like yesterday, when I was trimming the field, one of the what do you call it? The strips fell off, the cord fell off. And I had two of them. So I figure if one falls off, at least I've got the other one on it. But when the second one flew off, and I had already been an hour and a half into it, and that biatch showed up, I said, "Forget it. I'm done for the night. I did a lot there." So anyway, I'm going to address some of your comments too. Somebody mentioned, "Wow, isn't it strange that back to back, 2 days in a row, two neighbors approached me on the county road." Yeah, it is strange. Right? It's just a coincidence, though, right? And it has nothing to do with each other. It's just a coincidence that they're both watching my channel. Well, meanwhile, they have their own TikToks and Facebooks and all that stuff. Go mind your own damn business. I don't care what you're doing. And they've been slandering me since the day I moved here anyway, so let them prove it. This is the difference, folks. I'm going to tell you what the difference is, but please hit the thumbs up. It is not defamation or slander or libel, which is the written word, if it is true. If somebody is saying something that is true, it is not defamation or slander. Okay? And also remember, people do have opinions. An opinion is an opinion. It's not a fact. It's something people formulate based upon their perceptions of reality and their life experiences. But when you're talking about other people, it is not defamation or slander if it is true. It is not libel when you place it in writing if it is true, if it is a fact also. It could be a fact, it could be true. Okay, let's just clarify that. To answer somebody else's question, it's like, what is a cease and desist? A cease and desist is a letter that anybody can write, and including an attorney. You can have it notarized if you want to. I mean, it's probably better to have it notarized. I did not have mine notarized. What I did was I sent them regular mail and certified mail and made sure to get the green card back. And then when I sent my letters, I copied the sheriff and Ross Murray. Of course, they can claim that they didn't receive it all they want. Whatever. I don't really care at this point. So that woman, Scarlett, she and her husband received a cease and desist letter from me. I had started another one last year, and I said, you know what, I just can't be bothered right now. I have too much on my plate. But the other neighbors who are in the neighborhood wars on A&E April 11 on TV video received two cease and desist letters. Okay, cease and desist is actually outlining certain behaviors, not something that just really happens once, right? But if it happens repeatedly, it is cause for a cease and desist letter. You want them to stop the behavior. If it happens once, all right, you file it somewhere. But if it happens repeatedly, and it's harassment, vandalism, trespassing your property, they're going out of their way to physically intimidate, harass, torment me, or send their friends or family members, that is cause for a cease and desist. And what that does is it places it in writing, so nobody can say that you didn't warn them. Okay, and that will serve as evidence if you file a complaint with the Attorney General, a civil rights organization, the ACLU, or a lawsuit. Okay, so you've already got that information, because remember, years can go by and then the behavior can persist again, and then you might write another letter, but you might not remember what happened 2 years ago. So it's a good idea to place it in writing, and that's what I did. And I'm going to tell you right now, folks. So a cease and desist is to tell somebody to stop doing a behavior. Let's say stop trespassing, right? Stop stealing my belongings. Stop harassing me. Sometimes businesses will do it. Like if a business is intimidating the clients of a competitor, that might be cause to send a cease and desist letter. A cease and desist is a warning. It's documenting the bad behavior, the behavior that's harmful, and it is warning the individual. Okay, so they can't say that they haven't been warned, right? Okay, so I'm going to tell you that I kept a text message, or several text messages, from that woman Scarlett, dated September 6, 2020. I'm going to read it to you, folks. Now, I'm going to preface, folks, you know what my property looks like, right? You see how big it is. I mean, I didn't have solar motion lights installed in 2020. In 2021, 22, 23, I started installing solar motion lights. So I had no lights on the property. It was pitch black. So I walked around with a high beam flashlight at night all the time. I had to walk back and forth to the Cats building. Sometimes people would pull into my driveway. I want to see what they look like, right? I live here alone. I'm entitled to use a flashlight on my property. So this biatch sends me a text message, 9:31 p.m., September 6, 2020. My niece just, and I'll listen to the histrionics, folks. I'm going to read it the way it sounds to me, okay? My niece just came into my house and she was so shaken and crying because you, quote unquote, spotlighted her. She was so frightened that she almost ran into the ditch. Why did you do that? Was that necessary to frighten a 16-year-old girl that is harmless and not bothering you? This is going to come back to bite her sorry ass. Was it necessary to frighten a 16-year-old girl that is harmless and not bothering you? Please don't do that anymore to her or anyone in my family. We have never done anything to bother you. This really upsets me. Plus, one night Eddie was called out to work at 2:30 in the morning, and you did him the same way. We let that one go, but not my kids. So I respond. At 11:51 p.m., you're making assumptions that I know who is driving by. I do not. But my house has been broken into and items stolen, including pets. If someone is driving by at 2:30 a.m., that would be unusual and suspicious. She goes on to say, no assumptions at all. My niece just came at 9:30. Why do you spotlight people? I think it's illegal. And I have sent a text to one of my best friends. That's a state police. I hope she did. Police is going to laugh in her sorry face. My husband is on call 24/7 and he goes in and out all the time. How would I know that? There's no one bothering your village. Do you hear that? There's no one bothering your village. If they are, then you need to spotlight in your village and not in the road. That's a public place. And for the record, folks, my property is across the street. Also, just saying. If they're in the road, then they're not in your village. Mother-in-lawing you. I don't know what that means. That's crazy insane. Oh my goodness, this is called a projection. Here's Psychology 101, folks. Projection. Why do you care who drives by your house? People drive by my house all the time, and we could care less. Go to bed and quit worrying about who's driving by. You should get cameras in your village if you're that scared. I would like to see little old Scarlett live by herself for a week. All by herself. No teenage son, no husband, no kids, no lights. I'd like to see her go live by herself. She can't because she's always driving with somebody in her damn car as a escort. Go to bed, quit worrying about who's driving by. You should get cameras in your village if you're that scared. People are free, F-R-E-E, capitalized, to drive by your house anytime they please. If I want to go somewhere at 2:30, I will. And I better not be spotlighted. That's retarded. Who talks like this, folks? I don't know. When my husband goes out for work, making sure you have internet and telephone, you're down there spotlighting him. No, stop that nonsense. Like, I know who the hell it is. It doesn't matter who drives by your house at whatever time. It doesn't matter. That road is public property and none of your business. Anyone can travel at any time they please. We've lived here for 20 years and we're not going to change our lifestyle because you're afraid. Projection. I'm not afraid, biatch. You should be afraid. You're not living alone. I dare you. Go send your family away for a month, a couple of weeks, and see how you survive for a week or a month all by your little old lonesome. See if you get scared. We've lived here for 20 years and we're not going to change our lifestyle because you're afraid that someone is driving by the road past your property. We're very... Okay, guys. Are you braced for this one? We're very honest people. Ed would never steal or bother anything you have. So I respond, it sounds like you're overreacting and taking it personally. I walk around my property with a flashlight. And if it happens to shine on the road, it's not intentional. It's dark on my property. And by the way, I have photos and videos of people driving onto my property, headlighting me. I would think that trespassing and headlighting at the same time on my property is illegal. I would also appreciate you're not posting some things to social media. When you place false information online, it's called libel. I did have motion lights. I also have motion sensor lights. I don't remember having them then. She says, we have never been on your property headlighting you. What I post on social media is my business. If you're scared, here she mentions it a third time. If you're that scared, you should get post lights and put them up all over on every building. That's like me sitting up all night playing I Spy on who passes my house in the dark. People go snake hunting all the time. Yeah, this is how depraved these people are, folks. Yep. People go snake hunting all the time. Plus, our extended family was here camping all weekends, and there was more traffic than usual. And how would I know all of these things? And not one was out to hurt or steal your stupid cat. If you ever spotlight me, blinding me to the point that I can't see the road, I'll stop and sit right in the middle of the road until the cops come. I have a son-in-law that's a cop. Good. And we're friends with most of the police force here in the county and state, and I have no doubt whatsoever that they'd be right there. Walking around with a flashlight is different than a spotlight. Here, so you can see it here, right? Eddie said it was a big spotlight. Okay, isn't that interesting? A big spotlight. Even Eddie said he lost sight of the road for a few seconds. We'll videotape you the next time so everyone can see. That's crazy. Go to bed. Don't worry about who's driving by, because if folks know you're afraid, there goes 5 times. 5 times. Hey, bitch, I'm not afraid. Stupid asshole that you are. You are an idiot. Just an idiot. If I were afraid, do you think I would be living alone here for 4 years? I dare you to live alone for 4 years. You would crumble up and cry your little eyes out. Whimper, whimper, whimper. I guarantee you'd cry your little eyes out if you had to live alone for 4 years. Stupid. Don't worry about who's driving by, because if folks know you're afraid, they'll torment you just for the fun of it. This is their mindset. All I'm saying is, please don't do this to my family again. So I respond, thank you for the messages. They have been forwarded regarding my responses because you did not respond to my message. You exaggerated, embellished, and concocted a narrative that is fraudulent. If you threaten me again, I will take legal action. Lastly, everyone knows you intentionally ran over my cat last year. Intention is considered animal cruelty. You do whatever you think you have to do, she says, and you have lost your ever-loving mind. If you think I hit a cat, I never ran over a cat or any animal in my life. And if I would have had a jogger backbone than you ever could have, because I would have stopped and told you and helped you bury it. They will be a member of the cop team paying you a visit because spotlighting is illegal. And you know you're caught because my niece videotaped the whole thing last night. You need help. You're afraid. There goes 6. Number 6 time, she says, you're afraid of your own shadow, and nobody is put up to hurt or get or bother your village. Travis would roll over in his grave. Yes, he would. He would roll over on his grave to know what criminals live down the block from him. But I guarantee he knew, which is why he didn't trust any of you folks. This is why he nailed everything to the buildings, because he knew that you were all thieves. And how I destroyed it, right? How I destroyed his village. The only regret that Eddie and I have is you not buying it. We should have. There you go, folks. She wanted it. We should have. Then we wouldn't have to have this conversation like 2-year-olds. Yeah, you are a 2-year-old. Why can't you admit that you did and be an adult about it and go on? But please don't spotlight us again. Well, I'll tell you folks, after this, I put up motion lights everywhere. Every time somebody drives by, there are 3 lights that go on right there so they can go F themselves. So I respond, Scarlett, you're a bully. You over-exaggerate things and make a mountain out of molehill. And I will show the police my motion sensor lights and my flashlight. I will continue to use lights on my property. And I think I'm going to install some more. And then she goes again, there's a difference between a spotlight and a flashlight. We have a video, and I'm not a bully. I've never seen the video, folks. Never have been, never will. Yeah. I hope it won't happen again to any of my kids. Well, guess what, Scarlett? Guess who the bully is now? Who drove up to the county road while I was cutting, mowing, DR trimming? You pulled up your vehicle, get out, and threaten me to a fight, a fist fight. You threatened me to fist fight and then take out your camera to photograph me, and I waved and smiled, and I should have had my camera. You should have seen the expression on your face. You were shocked. You expected me to do something else. Just remember, you stupid asshole, I'm 65 years old. I lived a lot longer than you. Yeah, I lived a lot longer than you. I've been in a lot of experiences. I've lived in other cities and states. I haven't lived here 20 years like you. You need to get out and experience life. In fact, it would be great. Why don't your family go move out and we can have some real intelligent people come and move here and tidy up the place, because it is a hot mess. And Travis's place never looked so good. It took me 2 years to clean this place, and I'm still cleaning it up because it was a disaster when I moved here. And you didn't buy it because you couldn't afford it. Own it. You didn't buy it because you couldn't afford it, and you're jealous and envious and greedy, and you all want it for yourselves. Well, too damn bad. I have it now, and it is a gold mine. Yeah, Yeah, you thought it was too expensive back then. Well, too bad. I have it. It's mine. Okay, so folks, here you have it. So I sent a cease and desist letter after that, and with all her moaning and groaning, no police officer showed up here. Nobody wanted to examine my flashlight. And by the way, after this, I looked up the Kentucky law about flashlights, headlights, motion lights. There is no such damn thing. The only laws that exist about lighting exist for what the county installs on their roads. And the county has no lights on their roads, which is why it is pitch black here. It is totally black. But you want to know how they go snake hunting in the pitch black? They put their high beams on. Yeah, and they're a parade down the county road with high beams on. Doesn't matter the time of the day. Oh, but that's okay to put your high beams on to scare an innocent snake crossing the road because you want to kill it for fun. That's the kind of fun they have here. The kind of fun I have, folks, I enjoy reading and writing and creating. I don't enjoy killing or threatening people. But I guarantee you, folks, I do not negotiate with bullies. And to answer your question, somebody said, yeah, you look like you're strong. Well, I am strong. Maybe I'm not as strong as I was 10 years ago, but I am extremely strong. I don't tell people that. And not only am I strong, but I used to work out at a gym 5 days a week, folks, for years. I danced, I did gymnastics, I walked marathons and stuff. So I guess what you can say that I have is endurance. I can do something for a ridiculous amount of time and just never give up. And that goes for filing lawsuits. Okay? So I can go for a ridiculous amount of time. When I focus my energy on something, I want it done. And I will leave no stone unturned until I get what I want. Okay? So that's the way it works for me, folks. I'm physically strong and I have endurance. And I don't negotiate with bullies. Oh, yeah. I've got actually nice flashlights now. I've got flashlights everywhere. I've got motion lights everywhere. Every time somebody drives by at night, they all turn on. Because the county has no lights on their road, and it is dark, dark, dark here. And no, Miss Marks, I am not afraid. You said it 6 times. 6 times. It's a projection. Go look up projection. Okay? And don't gaslight me. You can go look up all those psychological terms and see how you use them against me. Oh, and what about the text message? This was another thing, folks. She sent me a text message when I first moved here. She said, you lost your pig. Now, she knew I didn't have a pig. She said, you lost your pig. I took a picture of it. Well, there must have been some wild boar. There was a wild boar on the road, and she took a photo of it and sent it to me. She said, oh, it's something about, like, I hope you're not afraid. And it's like, give me a break. And then another time, she sent me a message, oh, be on the lookout. There's a bear loose. She was always trying to intimidate and quote-unquote frighten me. You think I'm scared of this stuff? You think I haven't hiked in the woods? I hiked all throughout Vermont when I was younger. Please, go take your own garbage and stuff it in your own brassiere. I don't want to hear from you again. And no, that's not you, my lovely subscribers. I am speaking out loud in the privacy of my backyard here. And no, I don't negotiate with bullies. This is my hen. She's doing a dust bath. They do a dust bath to keep cool. I mean, and when I say dust, it's like she's literally in the dirt. And then she's going to shake it everywhere. So anyway, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. So I just wanted to give you that update. With regard to the cease and desist letter, I will read one of mine in the not too distant future. Not today. I don't have it available to me. But let's see. There was something else that I wanted to show you. Let's see. Let me see if I've got it here. Like I'm in my text messages now. 1 second, folks. And there's a plane flying overhead. Yeah, there's a plane flying overhead. Okay, so I'm reading some comments that, oh, where'd my comments go? Okay, so somebody wrote a comment, you will know people by their actions. Anyone can say anything, but the way they behave towards you is the way they are. Sorry they're messing with your attempts. And somebody writes, we're well into the seal judgments already. Follow Jesus, our only king. Let's see. She says, how does your neighbor know you have a channel, a YouTube channel? So one of my neighbors knew I had a YouTube channel because I had TikTok first. And she is on TikTok. Like she is a regular TikTok poster. And we were following each other on TikTok. And obviously on TikTok, I forward people to alternative homesteading on YouTube. And then when the ridiculous neighbor down the block who drove into the ditch and got arrested and tore down my gate, I had mentioned the video to her. And I said, well, I posted it to my YouTube. And I said, it's the same as my TikTok. So, you know, if they're interested in watching my YouTube channel, well, then that tells me that they not only know what's happening here and choose to not do anything or help, not question it, go along to get along, not look at the evidence, not examine it, and they all seem to think it's okay, right? They don't do their own research to find out, well, why is this happening? How could this happen to me? Why is it happening to other people in the town, the county? Right? If I knew that this was happening to my best friend or a neighbor and it wasn't happening to me, I want to learn everything there is about it. Okay? So you're right. Somebody posted that, like, if she's watching your channel, how come she does nothing? How come she doesn't file a complaint? Right? If she sees what they're doing to your animals, sees the evidence and that it's happening, and she does nothing, maybe she is complicit. She does know what's going on. You know? But people want to turn a blind cheek. And whether they're paid or not, some people are bribed or coerced. Okay? So anyway, I'm going to cut it short now. I've got other cutting to do. The grass is growing like a weed. But I hope everybody's doing okay. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, signing off for now.